Welcome to Utah Explored. Join us on a guided tour as we take you across the state to explore Utah's most amazing places, unique attractions, destinations off the beaten path, while learning all about the culture, history, and one-of-a-kind activities that you can only experience here in Utah. On each episode, we meet locals, guides, tourism professionals, and organizations across the state as they show us what they love about Utah, what there is to do in the area, how to visit these locations, and, as always, discuss what we can do to protect these great places we all love for future visitors. Coming up, we will explore a Mars research station deep in the Utah Badlands, hike the remote, winding 800-mile Heyduke Trail, and learn more about responsible OHV recreation. So lace up your hiking boots, put on some sunscreen, and don't forget your space helmet. Deep within colorful swirls, formations known as Utah's Badlands, you'll find something right out of a science fiction story. In this remote place, only accessible by dirt roads, lies the Mars Desert Research Station. Scientists, researchers, and those interested in what life on the red planet would be like make the long journey to experience a simulation of what it would be like to live on Mars.
Before we send humans to Mars, we need to understand how people will live, and the best way to do that is to simulate Mars missions on Earth so we understand how people adjust to the stresses and the constraints and what the best operational procedures and living resources will be for them. It's better to learn the key lessons ahead of time rather than to leave it to chance. My name's Guy Murphy. I'm from the Mars Society Australia, and I'm the organiser of Expedition Boomerang. Expedition Boomerang is a 4-week mission to the Mars Desert Research Station. We're here to experience the Mars simulation and further a whole lot of different research projects.
My name's Larissa Wilson. I'm 23 and I'm from New Zealand in Christchurch, and I'm a university student at the University of Canterbury. I'm here doing some research for the university and also just to gain some experience. Part of what I'm doing is looking at gypsum and extracting water from that, and then also looking at how we can use the gypsum to create a material that we can build things out of.
There's quite a set routine that we need to stick to. So you want a really efficient timetable to stay productive.
We've all gotten along really well and found it pretty easy. I can see Andrew shaking his head at the back.
This location was chosen for the Mars Desert Research Station after quite a long period of searching and evaluation. One was that it's visually stunning. It's quite a surreal alien environment.
I was awestruck when we were first driving here because New Zealand's a pretty green country. It's the first time I've really been into a desert.
Another reason, it's an area of high scientific interest in terms of the surrounding geology and microbiology and so on. It's also remote.
When I first Googled the place, I was on Google Maps and you just scroll out and scroll out and scroll out and there's just nothing around. It's so easy to put yourself in the position because we're taking it seriously. And then when you step out with the place looking like this, yeah, it's so easy to convince yourself.
This research station, one of its core function is to study the human element. How humans live and adjust to restricted conditions on Mars. You need to practice before you go to maximise your chances of success. So the crew will have research and other obligations they have to undertake during the day.
I think the more and more simulations you do, the more little things you notice. You notice little things like, oh, maybe this airlock could be a bit bigger, that was a bit crowded. And I think the more people doing stuff like that and the more people noting the things that they found a little bit annoying or a little bit stressful, the more information you've got. Personally, I'm going to be an acoustics engineer next year. So I've been measuring the noise in the hab where we've been living just to see how loud it is and looking into what could potentially be done to make the living space a bit more comfortable and nice in terms of noise levels.
The crew come from all around the world to undertake simulations and to further their research projects. We have a paramedic here. We've had someone undertake a study on food waste. One of the projects here has involved collecting micrometeorite samples. Firstly, you go to the preparation area downstairs, choose what type of suit you're going to wear to go outside, proceed to the airlock, and you'll undertake a simulated decompression, which takes about 5 minutes. And once that's complete, you'll get radioed approval to exit the habitat and step outside.
I don't know, it's so easy to put yourself in the position because we're taking it seriously. So you really want to check your suit and put everything on properly and standing there for 5 minutes. And then when you step out with the place looking like this, yeah, it's so easy to convince yourself. And then you see a car go past and you're like, oh, wait a second, I'm not on Mars.
I believe this is the longest running Mars simulation facility in the world.
I think it's cool to be given this opportunity as a female in a role that, you don't often see a lot of women. Engineers, especially in mechanical, I think there's about 10% females in my class. So it's cool to feel like you're potentially part of helping the future.
So the next time you're exploring the vast, beautiful desert known as the Utah Badlands, keep your eyes to the desert landscape. You may just catch a glimpse of these researchers in spacesuits making new discoveries that lead us closer to a trip to Mars. While the state of Utah is known for its amazing landscapes, outdoor activities, and iconic national parks, it also has some of the most unique beaches and places to hang out while enjoying a day on the water. Number 5 on our list of must-visit beaches is GUNLOCK State Park, located near St. George in southern Utah. During the early summer months, GUNLOCK gives you a unique beach in a desert environment. What makes GUNLOCK State Park number 5 on the list is the spectacular waterfall that forms just off Tees South Beach. Enjoy a natural water park among the sandstone. It's truly a one-of-a-kind adventure only found in southern Utah. Number 4 on our list is the world-famous Lake Powell. While not known for the typical sandy beach you may be familiar with, the shoreline of Lake Powell is sand in the making. The beautiful red rock, coves, canyons, and hideaways make for one of the most unique beach experiences you have ever experienced. Most of the unique places at Lake Powell are only accessible by boat, so be sure to make some new friends that own a boat or rent one at one of the many local marinas. Coming in at number 3 is the Great Salt Lake. For over 100 years, people have been flocking to the shorelines of America's very own Dead Sea to experience what it's like to float in heavy, salt-infused waters of the Great Salt Lake. Just west of the lake, you can get a glimpse of what makes the lake so incredibly salty by exploring the vast Bonneville Salt Flats. Bring your sunscreen, as the reflection of all the salt can get quite intense. Number 2 on our list is Sand Hollow State Park. This unique beach offers all kinds of water sports, scuba diving, and pristine sandy beaches, perfect for a summer desert escape. Kayak among the sandstone pillars, and then rent an ATV from the beach to explore the dunes above the park. From adventures on the sand to time in the water, this park has it all and needs to be on your radar. At number 1 lies a place they call the Caribbean of the Rockies, and it leads our list of Utah's must-visit beaches. Bear Lake is a blue jewel that is an oasis amongst the pines and mountains of northern Utah. The white sand beaches of Bear Lake State Park's Rendezvous Beach are world famous as a playground unlike any other. Get out on the water, hang out on the beach in the morning, and then explore the mountains above. Bike or ATV in the evening. Don't forget to stop by one of the local shops for a world-famous raspberry shake to round out your trip when visiting Utah's number 1 must-visit beach location. A long, crooked, winding, lonesome, and dangerous trail leading to some of the most amazing views you will ever see. The Hayduke Trail snakes its way across southern Utah while taking you through all 5 of Utah's national parks. The Hayduke Trail, however, is an extremely challenging 800-mile backcountry route through some of the most rugged landscapes in the state. Utah Explored joins through hiker Alex Mayer as he strives to complete this trail while producing his film, Figure It Out on the Hayduke Trail.
For me, hiking isn't just about seeing pretty landscapes. It has evolved into a way of seeing myself, which is why I chose one of the hardest routes in America for my 3rd long-distance hike.
This trail is located entirely on public land and is named after a character from Edward Abbey's novel, The Monkey Wrench Gang. The trail itself seeks to pay homage to Abbey's lifelong efforts in defense of fragile and threatened public lands. As Alex hikes one of the most challenging hikes in America, he captures his journey on video. Let's join Alex as he gives us a look into what it means to figure it out on the Hayduke Trail.
One of the things that has made the Hayduke Trail really unique compared to other thru hikes is that there's kind of a lot of those high-intensity moments. They're really brief, but really important because one wrong move could mean disaster. These canyons are no joke. They were never made to walk through easily. Finding a way out of these canyons is always about choosing between a bad and a worse route. There is never a good route that looks obvious and easy, but that's kind of how life is. You're never presented with the options that you would like to have. All you can do is make the best out of the options that you have. I've come to one of those places where there is only one way out of this canyon, and it's up there. Didn't look doable to me at first, but they said there's some sort of chimney climb. Guessing it's right about there. I'm really glad I found a way up here, but I definitely paid for it. That was so steep, and the air is really thin, and I'm not acclimated to that yet. I think in the past couple days of trail, I've gone from like 4,000 feet to it's about 11,500 feet up here. I'm gonna need a good long break. I know that I have enough water to get me through like maybe half the day, and after that I'll be out. I've entered something like a famine mindset now that all I want to do is find water. But it's important to remember to still make rational decisions in this sort of a mindset. Water! Yeah! It's a dirty old cow pond, but I don't care. I feel like a different person now. And this water actually tastes really good, believe it or not. I think today's the hottest day so far on the trail. My watch says it's 112 degrees. I've seen it as high as 125 when it's just sitting in the sun. So 2 nights ago when we were in the Grand Canyon, it was about 80 degrees all night. Last night, now that we're up on top, it's 18 degrees this morning. I found that life is a lot like hiking. It's just way more complicated, and our problems have been abstracted into things that are kind of hard to break down. But out here, things are simple. The problems are simple, and the solutions are obvious. It's just a matter of doing them. We're kind of sold an illusion that if we do everything right, suffering can just be eradicated from life. But out here in the wilderness, it's a completely different philosophy. because I found that suffering is just impossible to get rid of. But that's not really the point. The point is that we find things to do that make the suffering worthwhile. It gives us that opportunity, the time and the freedom to experiment and figure this stuff out for ourselves. But I had no choice, I had to figure it out. Now the next step is to figure out what to do. I'll just have to figure it out. That's how this whole trail has been.
Alex's film, Figure It Out on the Heyduke Trail, is about more than just hiking. It explains how we can use the lessons learned in the wilderness to live happier and more resilient lives. His experiences remind us of the importance of nature in our lives and why protecting these special places for future generations is not only important, but vital. The Hayduke Trail, however, is an extremely challenging 800-mile backcountry route through some of the most rugged landscapes in the state. So this is an adventure for only very experienced desert backpackers in peak physical condition. While hiking the Hayduke Trail may not be for everyone, Utah has thousands of miles of trails for every experience level. For more information on where to watch Alex's film, Figure It Out on the Hayduke Trail, and to learn more about his new upcoming film, visit his website.
You want to come to the Carbon Corridor because it's the place to be. It's where all the fun is happening. It's where all the crowds aren't. My name is Tina Henry, and I'm the tourism specialist for Carbon County. We have some amazing outdoor recreation, great museums, really great eateries, historic main streets in Helper, Utah. So I have the fun job. I get to market the Carbon Corridor and invite people to come and visit. 9 Mile Canyon is our #1 destination in the county.
My name's Tim Riley. I'm the curator of archaeology at the USU Eastern Prehistoric Museum. There's a couple of really important highlights that I think nearly everybody should stop at. The Great Hunt, the Owl Panel, the Daddy Canyon Complex. There's effectively no end to the art you can find if you're looking patiently. 9 Mile Canyon is sometimes called the world's longest art gallery, but it's so much more than just that. Not only do we have all this incredible rock art, we have evidence that this was a home for people over the last couple of millennia. They lived out here, they built their homes out here, and they made their art out here. We'd love to have this canyon available for Utahns and the rest of the world to visit well past our own lifetime because they're part of a cultural landscape. This was the home of people for generations. That's one of the things that makes this such a special place.
We're here at the Wedge Overlook located in the San Rafael Swell.
So my wife and I, we're still fairly new to the UTVs and ATVs, but it's been amazing places we've been able to go and see that we wouldn't have been able to get to without some type of side-by-side. So here at the Wedge Overlook, there's areas where you can camp, and then in the morning you can get up and get in your side-by-side and explore and have fun. So yesterday we left from the fairgrounds in Price, traveled out west into the Pinnacle Peak area. We visited the railroad trestle there, and then the waterfall. It's a natural occurring waterfall that runs pretty much all year long. I couldn't imagine living anywhere else. From where my house is, I can be in the mountains in 5 minutes. I can be out in the desert in 20 minutes. I can be at the very top of the mountains in the pine trees in 30 minutes. It's just a region that's unique in that we have everything and it's close by. Whatever you want to explore, it's here.
There's no place I'd rather be. I mean, this is the place to be for me. From mountain biking to climbing, to river rafting, to OHV, spend a day, spend a night, spend a weekend, start here. Go to those amazing places in the state, but don't miss the unique opportunities that we have here in the Carbon Corridor.
Visitors come from across the world to experience an off-road adventure. Whether this is your first experience driving on exciting OHV routes in Utah, or whether you ride all the time, it's important to remember to stay on established trails and respect all the rules that help protect sensitive areas.
I am Cliff Kuntz, Executive Director of Ride with Respect, and I'm here enjoying an outing with Tread Lightly in the historic mining town of Sago. Ride with Respect does a lot of trail work in cooperation with the land managers to try to make ATV, motorcycle, side-by-side, and even four-wheel driving sustainable, safe, and enjoyable for everyone who uses the public lands. To keep the roads, trails, and all the places that they lead to legally accessible. But then it's also to keep them in good condition. We also educate other riders to respect the land, because in order for multiple uses to work, we have to be compatible with those other uses and the natural and cultural resources on the land, which in most cases we are if we just tread lightly. There's a lot of wildlife and plant life out here that's not just here for the enjoyment of the place, it's home for those species. Then in addition to conserving those renewable resources, we have these non-renewable resources out here, some of the rock art down in Sago, and dinosaur tracks closer to Moab that could be as much as 200 million years old. You're in a museum. We want to be allowed out here. It's nobody but ours to conserve for generations to come.
I'm Jim Little. I'm up here on vacation, riding dirt bikes with my friends, and we're having a great time riding through these areas and seeing the historic petroglyphs. The bikes are really a way to access some areas that there wouldn't be any other way to get to and see some of these things. And it's really good that this group is trying to protect them, and we do what we can to tread lightly.
My name is Jessica Montcalm. I am an archaeologist with the Abandoned Mine Reclamation Program of the Utah Division of Oil, Gas, and Mining. And we are standing inside the general store at the former coal company town of Sago, Utah. The ghost town of Sago, which is what it's considered now, is situated on private property, but it is right next to public lands. The private landowner has been more than gracious in allowing the public to recreate up here. There are a lot of off-road vehicle recreationists, motorbikers, hikers, tourists who come through and wander up this way. And embracing and taking care of a place like this, not leaving trash, not destroying buildings, not tearing things down, ensures that private landowners leave spots like this open for access, leave us the ability to cross those public lands boundaries and take in the history of these forgotten towns that are out in the desert. But to look at it now, there's nothing left. So respecting what little is here, such as the standing structure at the general store and the remains that are left scattered on the ground, help protect the history that we can still glean from the day-to-day lives of the people who used to live here. It's really important to respect places like this because maintaining public access on private property to sightsee, to appreciate the surroundings, the history of these locations really does further each individual's appreciation. And it is our duty to see the past into the future.
Hi, I'm Ashley Losey. I'm an archaeologist with BLM Utah. Looting and vandalism of archaeological and paleontological resources is a real problem because it robs us all of our cultural and natural heritage. Rock art here in Sago Canyon begins about 5,000 years ago with the Barrier Canyon style rock art. This is followed by Fremont style rock art, which dates to about 1,000 years ago, followed by Ute style rock art, which dates to about 600 years ago. And we also have historic inscriptions, which are all post-Civil War. When you visit rock art sites like Sago Canyon, please remember to not touch the rock art. The oils in your fingers are actually corrosive and speed up the erosion of the art. Also, please do not add to the art so that we can all enjoy these places as pristine rock art sites.
My name is Rebecca Hunt Foster, and I'm the District Paleontologist for BLM Canyon Country District in southeastern Utah. And today we're in Mill Canyon. This area is really popular for coming to see dinosaur tracks and dinosaur bones. There's a historic stage stop. People come here to Jeep and ride their UTVs and their motorbikes, and it's just a fun area to come out and explore. And we're just working to educate and tell visitors about how to enjoy sites, how to properly visit them, and how to enjoy them with respect. People are welcome to come to the Mill Canyon Dinosaur Trail here and look at dinosaur bones, but we ask that you please don't remove them. Removing them takes the resource away from everyone that's here to see these fossils, and if everyone took a little flake away, there would be nothing left. So we ask that if you come to the Mill Canyon Dinosaur Trail, to please enjoy the bones, take lots of pictures, but please don't remove any of the fossils.
It's important to remember to stay on established trails and respect the rules that help protect sensitive areas and ensure access to these locations stays open for future generations. For more information on finding designated trails, riding education, and tips, visit treadlightly.org. On this episode, we have explored the Mars-like landscapes of the Badlands and the scientists who come from all over the world to work, research, and get a glimpse of what living on Mars might be like. We went on an 800-mile hike on the Heyduke Trail, learning how we can use lessons learned in the wilderness to live happier and more resilient lives. And we finished our journey learning how important it is to stay on established trails and respect all the rules that help protect sensitive areas and ensure access to these locations for future generations. We hope you have enjoyed this episode of Utah Explored. Join us on the next episode to explore more amazing places, unique attractions, off-the-beaten-path destinations, while learning all about the culture, history, and one-of-a-kind activities that you can only experience here in Utah. Get out there and explore, but as always, do so with respect. See what's on the next episode and watch previous episodes at utahexplored.com.